Welcome to AutoPilot Passive Income System. I'm looking forward to your success. Imagine waking up and finding that some of your trades for the week have already been executed, all thanks to a system you set up once and you manage with minimal effort. That's the magic of AutoPilot Passive Income System. Forget about spending hours deciphering confusing strategies. I'll equip you with 3 to 5 straightforward steps that you can implement immediately. I encourage you to take this seriously and put effort into the steps of our system every day because with repetition, you will become proficient. Here's a sneak peek at what you'll be doing, not just passively learning, but actually doing. We're going to target the perfect trades. We're going to say goodbye to information overload. Have you heard of analysis paralysis? Not here. Your watch list will highlight only the stocks with the highest profit potential, perfectly aligned with your trading style. Total control, zero stress. You set the automated parameters, the system executes. Enjoy the peace of mind of knowing that your trades are running smoothly while you carry out your day. Defined risk trades. This lets us control our potential losses and maximizes our gains. Autopilot keeps things clear and concise. I break down each manageable step. Now let's get started. Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons to automation. So, what are the frustrations of manual trading versus the freedoms of automation? Well, I'm going to tell you my own story. I actually learned automation just because I wanted to sleep in the morning. I'm here in Southern California, and the market opens up at 6:30 in the morning, and so I really just wanted to sleep in. And so I started to learn automation, and it took me a little bit because no one taught me automation. I just was researching the books and figuring it out on my own. And once I did, I started to simulate my trades on a simulation platform. And when I started to do it and they were working, I was like, can this really work on a real trade? So I ended up setting up my first trade. I only did one trade because it was a real trade and I was nervous about it. And so I did it on Lululemon. And I remember it because these are those aha moments that you just can't forget. And the next day, I wake up and I kind of forget that I even set this trade up. So I wake up at 8:30, which is 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then all of a sudden, I recognize what I had done. I run over to the platform, turn it on, and I looked, and there it was, like over $800 in profit. I couldn't believe it. And this was like, wow, I did that while I slept in. Are you kidding me right now? It just blows your mind when it actually happens and it works, especially for the first time. And then there was another situation where I was an experienced trader and I wanted to learn how to do automation for like scalping. And so what I did was kind of scalping and intraday trading Amazon. And back then, Amazon was like $3,800. And so I set up a simple template that said, hey, if I win $500, get me out. If I lose $500, then get me out. It was simple. So I set it up, I enter the trade in, and I'm waiting. And all of a sudden, within milliseconds, I hear a ding and I said, wait a minute, did I just lose $500 like in milliseconds? And I look at my monitor tab and I made $500 in milliseconds. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. So now, for those of you out there that are experienced traders, this can be used for any type of your trading. Trust me on this. You're going to love it for these same reasons. So let's talk about the frustrations of manual trading. So, first of all, it's an emotional roller coaster. So, if you don't have your emotions in check and you're starting to look at the charts, you're watching your screen, it kind of, every market fluctuation that triggers, it kind of triggers anxiety within you. And that anxiety actually doesn't allow you to make really good decisions. That's really important to understand. When you have stress in your system, you're not making a clear decision. And that's not what you want to do when you're trading your own capital, right? So think about that. That stress doesn't allow you, that anxiety doesn't allow you to make really good decisions. And so you really want to be emotionless when you trade. You've probably already heard that. And then missed opportunities while you have all the stress and anxiety and you're looking at the charts. Now you're second guessing yourself. You have the trigger in front of you, but all of a sudden now you're second guessing yourself. Well, wait a minute, it doesn't look right. And then you're missing opportunities, even though you have exactly your levels in place. You define them already, but you don't carry through because of other factors. And this, unfortunately, misses a lot of really good opportunities. We call this sometimes analysis paralysis, where all of a sudden you just can't make the decision. And unfortunately, it leads to missed opportunities. Inefficient management, right? You're glued to the screen, unable to react in time to fleeting opportunities. That's exactly what I was saying. When you are unable really to react like a machine and quickly, then what ends up happening is you're missing opportunities or your risk now starts to increase. So think about that. So just like when you have stress and you can't get into a trade because you have analysis paralysis, what happens when the trade goes against you? You're in the trade, it goes against you, and now all of a sudden you're using hope and you have fear. And then this type of anxiety, right, gives you analysis paralysis of getting out of the trade. So this is another issue, another problem, another frustration that happens when you're manual trading. And then, of course, the risk defined trade. You defined your risk up front when you're sitting in front of your screen. But for whatever reason, all of a sudden there's a surprise. And now you want to get out of your trade. And as you try to get out of your trade, because it wasn't automated, the price is moving against you. So you keep having to change your price. And now you're actually losing more money than you anticipated because you didn't stick to your plan. And because it wasn't automated, it didn't just execute in a second or a millisecond. The human reaction time is way greater. And once you start practicing these automations, you're going to see how quick that automation trigger takes place. So, those are the frustrations. Some of the great freedoms of automation is you get to set it and forget it. Your strategy's in place. By you having your strategy and everything already predefined before you actually get in, that gives you an edge to trading. And then also emotionless execution. Probably read books about self control and controlling your emotions. So when you automate your trades, you've done that already. And it's wonderful because most manual traders tend to overtrade because they recognized all the mistakes they made and they're trying not only to correct their mistakes, but they're also trying, of course, to make some money because they lost more than they anticipated while manual trading. When you actually set your trade up in automation, everything is already defined. You have your system in place and it's repetitive. And that's what creates an edge. That's what creates a trade plan. And then also enhanced efficiency. If you're not looking at it and you're not experiencing stress and everything is defined up front and the machine does it all by itself, that's called efficiency right there, right? And then live your life. For goodness sakes, I wonder how many of you out there that have some experience are just chained, ball and chained to your screen all day or to your account or your phone. Being able to set up your automations and forget about it is wonderful because then you can pursue whether it be your full time job, your part time job, having time with your family, going and taking care of errands, all these things that you wouldn't be able to do if you were manual trading. So I hope this gives you a snapshot of what I've experienced and how automation can really set you apart. So if you're a brand new trader and you learn automation up front, this is going to put you light years ahead of just a regular manual trader that's beginning at the same level. And if you're an experienced trader, I'm here to tell you this is going to blow you away because not only can you utilize it for swing trading, but you can also utilize it for day trading as well as scalping. It's incredible. So I will see you in the next video.